Hi, welcome to Geometry. I am Christine Smoglik and I am your child's teacher. I've been here at Clearwater High for the past 5 years. I graduated SPC with a degree in secondary mathematics education in 2017. This is a second career for me. I spent previous years working as a legal assistant. Much prefer teaching math to these kiddos. They're an awesome bunch. Aside from that, I also have two, I'd like to say children of my own, but technically my kids are adults now. I have, both my kids are in college. My daughter is at UCF. She is wrapping up her bachelor's degree in technical writing. And my son is over at SPC and he's wrapping up his Associate of Arts degree. So I've raised my two kids. I've gone through these teenage years. I've been with them through high school and now through college. And I take a lot of what I learned from parenting them and I kind of move that into my classroom to help prepare these kids for what's going to be coming up after high school. So let's take a quick little look at what to expect in the geometry classroom. So geometry is a graduation requirement. And we also do have an EOC, which is also a graduation requirement. The kids will be taking a Cycle 1 assessment at the end of the first report period. That grade, that'll be a curved grade, and that grade will just go in as a test grade. Cycle 2 is going to be like their midterm, and they'll take that before winter break, and that one will be 30% of their semester grade. And then at the end of the year, they're going to take an EOC. That is going to cover everything that they have learned throughout the year, and that will be 30% of their entire year-long grade. In my classroom, I love teamwork. I have the kids in groups. Students are sitting in either groups of 3 or 4 for most of the lessons. The only time I really make them sit alone is during a test time. I like them to have that collaboration. I really strongly feel at this age they need that social aspect of sitting with their peers. And then again, talking about the concepts with their peers, working out problems, helping each other out. The picture that I have on your screen right now was from our team building experience on the first day of school, where we put together puzzles. We made it a kind of a competitive game to see which team could get the puzzle done first. And then we kind of talked about our processes and how we relied on our team members. We worked together. We took our prior knowledge, problem solved. There's, multiple ways to approach a problem, just like with a puzzle. So we kind of relayed that, and that really truly sets the tone for how we do things in this classroom. And a general overview of just kind of our daily, what we do in a day. We usually start out with some sort of bell work. I warm them up, maybe refresh whatever we learned the previous day. We'll do a lesson, we'll take notes. They do try-its, which is their opportunity to give a new concept a try. And again, I have them working in groups. I'll walk around and I'll assist them if they need help, but they are, encouraged to discuss the problems with their peers. Homework, I'm not a huge believer in a ton of homework. I will give them maybe sometimes around average of 8 problems at a time. Sometimes it's not even that much. Especially if they're problems that are a little bit more time intensive, they'll have less. Homework, every student has extended time in my classroom. So what I do is any work that any lesson, anything that I assign in 1 week is going to be due the following Tuesday. So they generally have at least maybe, sometimes at minimum 4 days to get an assignment done, to all the way up to possibly 9 days, 10 days to get an assignment done. And I do this because I also want them to learn time management. They have 6 other classes. A lot of them have jobs, extracurricular activities, family life, family responsibilities, social life. And I want to give them that opportunity to have some flexibility, to learn how to balance all the things that they have to do in their life. I'm also not a big believer that, we teach a kid a math lesson and then they're supposed to go home right away and tackle that homework and get it done in 10 minutes because they absolutely positively understand every little bit of it. It doesn't always work like that. I want them to have time to approach the homework, work it out, and then if they're struggling, that they have plenty of time before homework is due to come and ask for help. And also, you know, we are also now learning, especially this time of the year, the beginning of the year, we are learning that we should not wait until Monday night to do the week's worth of homework. So we will continually work on that throughout the year, and then they will start to get into that that groove of managing their time better. So guidelines to success. These are just some guidelines that I've let the students know that are going to be helpful for them to be successful in this course. So essentially, they need to actively participate in class, taking notes, trying the work, asking questions, being actively engaged in the material, keeping that cell phone strictly to what we're doing in the classroom. We do use technology frequently in the classroom. And in fact, I have them using Desmo Scientific on their cell phones because as a calculator, because that is almost identical to what they're going to be using on the EOC. And I want them to be comfortable with that calculator and how it's going to work, because that is, again, 30% of their year-long grade at the end of the year. And again, keeping that phone to strictly classroom approved activities, you know, so that they're not texting, they're not on Facebook, they're not on YouTube, and they are totally engaged in what we are doing. Turning in their classwork and homework, and again, they don't have to wait until the due date to turn it in. I want them to turn it in as soon as they can. I still have a lot of kids who say, I did the homework, but I forgot to turn it in. So I try to keep encouraging them, get that homework turned in as soon as it's done. Attending class daily, of course. It's hard to catch up when you miss a day or two. Being prepared to class, they should have a pencil or a pen to write with, some sort of paper. Lined paper is good. I do require them to have a binder, either like a 1-inch or a 1.5-inch binder. And again, in this course, we are also teaching them how to get organized, how to stay organized. So they will be graded on their binders at the end of each report period. Also preparing for tests and quizzes. Now in geometry, we do allow them to have open note tests, but that still means that they need to study for those tests. Asking for help, you know, and not to wait until test day or the day before test day to say, hey, I don't understand something. I encourage them to ask questions, you know, and I will reword things or show different methods, whatever I can do to get through to them. And then above all, communicate with me. So if there's anything going on that's maybe preventing them to following these guidelines, to let me know. If there's something going on at home, if they're stressed about something else is going on, and maybe they're a little off, and they don't, you know, so I'm not thinking that they're just, you know, not being engaged, you know, for any good reason, to just let me know, and I will always work with them to get through whatever is going on. And again, too, if there's stuff going on at home or if someone's sick, whatever, I can give extensions on due dates. I can reschedule tests as long as they are communicating with me. So I will be emailing out progress reports every few weeks. So please be sure to update your contact information with the front office. You should have received some papers to fill out on the first day of school. Make sure those have been returned. And again, that email, it's so important, not just for me, for a lot of other teachers. We like to email the progress reports. Make sure if you have an email address that is in focus. And if you ever want to contact me, please feel free. You can email me at the email address on your screen. If you want to set up a phone conference, I'm more than welcome. I'm more than happy to do that with you, or a parent-teacher conference. We can do that as well. Before we end this, let me take you through a quick tour of Canvas so you can see what is available to your students. Let me see here. Here we go. Okay, so here is their Canvas page. If you look week at a glance, we'll generally have what we're going to be doing the next week. Modules. So here's what we got. So today And actually yesterday and today we played a game, Grudge Match. And what I've got in here are the answer keys to everything that we did in the game. I've encouraged them to go ahead and review this, study it if they didn't get it during the game, to go back, because the questions I put in any kind of activity that I do for review are going to be fairly similar to what is on the test. They are taking their first test tomorrow, though they're given 2 days for their test, so they will be taking it Wednesday and Thursday this week. And then underneath each little section, these are our chapters, they have a copy of the textbook. They will also always have copies of the notes, and then they can always access to what their homework is here. So for example, here's what we did on proofs. Now I gave them 2 problems in their workbook, and there were 3 tiny little proofs that they had to justify on a worksheet. So I will always also give them the answer key, and that doesn't mean that I'm telling them to just copy the answers. I want them to show their work, and I also want them, even if there isn't work to be shown, I want them, and I'm trusting them, that they're doing the work, and then they check the answer, and if they're not getting the right answer and they don't see how to get the right answer, that they're coming and getting some help. And then on the worksheet too, I gave them some answer keys. So they have resources available to them. They can come in, come on, there we go. They can come in here, modules, that's all there for them. So they have textbook, they have the notes, I published the notes, and again, they can see me. If they ever need tutoring, they can just come by and I will work with them. It's no problem. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and you have a wonderful evening.